What's up everybody and happy Wednesday. I said in the last video I'd be back with a week 4 midweek update. So here I am, and today we're talking about the Ultra Silver rank up. There's a couple things I wanted to discuss in this video, but I should mention right off the bat that all of the goals from week 4 are carrying over into week 5. Keep in mind I didn't play during most of last week because of finals, so this week was my first real shot at working on these goals. We'll discuss in a few minutes about why there's still lots of work to do on them, but for now the main thing is just that week 4 goals are carrying over into week 5. Okay, so Ultra Silver. We're finally back at the highest rank that I've ever hit before, only this time it's with Colleen instead of Mika. I think now would be a pretty good point to sit back and review this series in like a broader scope. I was thinking I'd wait until Gold to discuss this, but since Ultra Silver is the highest I've gotten, it probably makes more sense to compare getting there with Mika versus getting there with Colleen, while they're still on equal footing in terms of experience. For the Gold rank up video, there's still lots of other things to talk about. We can talk total stats from Bronze to Gold, we can look at like win percentages versus certain characters, we can compare matches to see how I've shifted my game plan over the ranks, all sorts of fun stuff we could analyze for, like a Gold recap video. But for now, let's just talk about the journey back up to the point of Ultra Silver. So overall, I'm really happy with a lot of aspects of this series so far. I think one of the biggest things that stood out to me was how quickly I was able to grind back up to this rank with a brand new character. To put things into perspective, getting here on Armika took me about 4 full months of daily play and around 4,000 matches, while getting here on Colleen has taken 3.5 weeks, right? 3 full weeks, and this is half a week for week 4. And I haven't even hit 500 matches on Colleen yet. So it's been pretty insane, and I think there's a lot to take away from this progress. First off, I am definitely surprised at how much of my skill carried over from Mika to Colleen, and I think that really goes to show the value of the fundamental skills that everyone recommends working on. I didn't know about any of these resources really until about 2 or 3 months into my training with Mika, and once I started putting effort into the goals from like Frabsaur's videos, I went from Ultra Bronze to Ultra Silver in about a month and a half. And now here I am with Colleen, I went from Bronze to Silver in 1 week. It's crazy because I've seen tons of people on Reddit talking about how they've been stuck in Super Bronze or Ultra Bronze for like a year or a year and a half. I see it all the time. And it blows my mind because, I was brand new to fighting games about 6 months ago, and I've now gotten to near gold level on 2 different characters. And I don't say that to brag, I'm still amazingly bad at the game, just watch the videos. I say it to highlight the importance of the resources that I found. They have each had a massive impact on both my enjoyment of the game and my growth as a player. If it were up to me, honestly, the Getting Good series and Frabsaur's videos would be sticking right there next to Gief's gym on r/Street Fighter for all of the other newbies like me to see. And while we're on the topic of resources, the 3 I've been using have all complemented each other very well thus far, so I'm pretty happy about that too. I was hoping they would. The Getting Good series has been top-notch for skill progression and has been my main source of structure. I mean, obviously this is a training log following it, but whatever. Frabsaur's videos have also been great as a sort of general overview for what to watch out for in each rank. They aren't 100% comprehensive, right? They don't cover like hit confirms, counter hit confirms, just little things, but there's still a good baseline to make sure I don't have massive holes in my play. And then Sheldon's lesson streams have been useful for understanding a lot of the concepts better, and his system for learning the game has been amazing so far. The notes have really been as useful as I thought they were going to be, and this week I'm going to dive in deep and flesh out the block string section and add counter hit confirms to the combos, so I'm up to date on my understanding of Colleen's offense. The last things that I want to mention really quick for this section are my thoughts on Colleen and thoughts on my training log. So really quickly on Colleen, she's fun. I like Colleen. She's not exactly what I expected, but I think a lot of that just has to do with the way that I'm playing her at the moment. I haven't added a lot of things to my toolbox, the parries and the hail, so it's feeling a little bit plain right now. Also, I accidentally switched to V-Trigger 2 for 1 match, and it was surprisingly cool with the extended range on normals and the slides and all that cool stuff. So later on, I might make a V-Trigger swap to spice things up a little bit. In regards to this series that I'm making, I'm happy I've made it so far. It was meant to be something to look back on, but it's ended up being kind of like a source of motivation as well. It's kept me focused and has encouraged me to continue to be critical of my play, so I always know how I can be a better player moving forward. It always gives me something new to work on. And I mean, I want to get some coding projects under my belt this summer, but I intend to devote a good amount of time to bringing the quality of these videos up so they're more watchable and interesting instead of just kind of like, you know, this kind of just drags on a bit. But yeah, so that's a lot of stuff we've discussed already, and haven't even touched the matches for this week, so let's just fly through that and wrap things up. If I had to use one word to describe this week's matches, it would probably be sloppy. I was impatient, I did lots of random jumps, I made bad decisions on V-trigger usage, I had random wake-up supers, execution errors like crazy, lots of things that I had under control before, and I think all of this stems from two kind of mental blocks which I'll be working on this week. The first is tilt. I had a ton of laggy matches this week. I mean, out of the 64 ranked games that I played for this rank up, I bet over half of them had a noticeable amount of lag. I got frustrated really quickly to the point where I felt kind of mad even if I won a game. And that's a really bad problem to have if you're like me and you love playing ranked matches. Then the second problem is intertwined with tilt. I've noticed that there is kind of a disconnect between my attitude in ranked matches and outside of them, and I think it has to do with the introduction of casual matches. So outside of matchmaking, I've spent lots of time on the notes, I've watched videos, I've been in training mode, I've been a student of the game. And before I started casual matches, ranked was kind of an extension of that. I wanted to win, obviously, but if I lost, I would be fine, and I would even be happy if I noticed that I improved in some way. I played so many thousands of matches with Mika that losing points was no big deal because ranked was all that I ever did. I was accustomed to, the fluctuations. And then when I started playing casual matches this week, it felt a lot different. It was new to me. I didn't care about winning or losing, so I would just try to force situations that I needed practice on to get the experience. So casual matches were definitely helpful in working on goals for the week, but it was an adjustment. When I jumped back into ranked for this rank up, things felt completely different than they used to. Because it felt like a step up from casual, I became 100% focused on getting the points instead of, working towards points, but also focusing on improvement. I think the moment where I noticed this change was when I hit a counter hit confirm for the very first time. This is a brand new skill that's becoming muscle memory. But because I lost that match, I didn't even feel excited that I had mastered or was working towards mastering something new. So this combined with tilt and the lag made this week pretty rough mentally. Coincidentally though, both the Getting Good series and Sheldon streams talk about issues like these, so I'm going to be watching those videos today. I'm also going to spend the majority of my time in training mode and casual matches again until later on in the week when I go back into ranked. And when I do, I'll just need to chill out and remember that improvement is the main focus, not the points. High-level players mention pretty often anyways that there's a big difference between online play and tournament play, so ranks aren't really a good indicator of skill. To summarize, the rest of this week and week 5 is mostly going to be casual matches focusing on the big 3 goals, but I'm also working on mental fortitude and ranked matches. I'm going to assume that I'll probably hit gold sometime in the next 2 weeks, but at this point I'm just more excited to get these current skills crossed off my list because they're big fundamental skills that I want to have in my pocket. I think once I do complete them, I'm going to finally add parries and hail to the toolbox, and maybe even make a week 6 goal of earning a cool reset or something, for fun, because like I said, Colleen's a little bit plain right now. But I'll update you guys at the end of this week on the progress, so I'll see you then.